Moving into a selective high school when you are in year 7 to 10 is not easy. The process will typically involve doing an exam such as the HAST test and/or supplying supporting documentation. This includes reports, extracurricular activities, NAPLAN results, and both internal and external academic achievements. A large component of this involves the school report section, where most schools will require 2 to 3 sets of school reports for a student looking to try to transfer. This being the student's half-yearly and yearly report for the year prior or before, and as well as their current half-yearly report for the current year. Therefore, students need to ensure that their reports are above average. Otherwise, why would they be accepted into an academically selective school? Here's the situation in context. Students who are looking to transfer into a selective school are already students who are typically at the upper end of their local government schools, private school, independent school, or are already in a selective school, but they want to join a higher one in terms of ranking. For instance, if a student attends Parramatta High School, which is a partially selective high school, they may be interested in moving into a fully selective high school like Girraween or Penrith High School, as it is a fully selective school. Partially selective schools will have selective classes to year 7 and 10, and when it is year 11 and 12, they will be merged with the non-selective stream. This is an advantage for the students in the non-selective class, as they can benefit from the higher marks that the selective students will likely receive in their test scores. Although it is a disadvantage for the students who are already in the selective stream, but will likely not be able to pull it up for scaling and moderation in terms of that point of view, because they're already near the top of the cohort. The students who are not in the selective stream would generally not be able to push them up harder. If anything, they might drag them down. Fully selective schools will then become more attractive for students because everyone is generally high performers. And even people who are lower ranked in a subject in the school perform quite well in a fully academic selective school. I have already gone through a video on the HAST exam as well as providing supporting documentation, so we should already know how competitive it is to try to transfer into one of these schools. Generally, there's only a spot available when someone leaves the school, but at times there may be an additional class that will open up for certain year groups. For instance, Penrith and Girraween High School have an additional class for year 10 students, but if you're looking to join in year 8, 9 or year 11, if no one leaves the school, you would not have a spot available even if you are the best student applying for it in that year. So regardless of whether there is an additional class available or not, it is going to be a very competitive process compared to the test in year 6. As the test in year 6 has guaranteed places, the application to try to transfer in year 7 to 10 is not guaranteed. Although it is not impossible, as I was personally successful in transferring from Penrith to Girraween after trying out 3 times in a row, it was very hard. When I applied though, the additional spots of 20 positions was in year 11 as opposed to year 10 now, so I'm sure that plays a bit of a factor for me being successful when I first tried to transfer. Our team at Bings Academy are very experienced at doing and helping students transfer into selective schools here in New South Wales for many years, and I keep seeing comments asking whether their report is good enough. Hey John, I got these marks in this subject, is it good enough to make it into Bulk Mills High School? Hey John, I got these subjects, it wasn't very good in this area, can I still make it into Hornsby Girls High School? The questions are endless. In previous videos, I've already stated that students should be averaging A's across their school reports. Having a few B's is fine, but you want to have more A's. Having a C is generally not going to be a good look, so try to avoid getting any of these completely. Although if you had to get one, see whether it is possible to get one from your earliest report and not your later ones. This is because schools can then recognize that the student is generally consistent but may have just had a slip up earlier on, but because of the subsequent reports, they've actually improved over time. If you get a C in your most latest report, but you got really good marks in previous reports, then it actually gives the indication that you're kind of getting worse over time. But ideally, you do not get any C's at all. I wanted to share one of the school reports that a student of ours used and actually attended Girraween High School in year 11. They were able to successfully transfer during this year, and I think it will serve as a really good example. I wish I still had a copy of my personal report on hand back when I was in Penrith trying to move into Girraween, as I think that would provide a lot of insight. However, I can't find it. I think I may have lost it or thrown it out, as it has been quite a number of years since I've last graduated, and I actually didn't think that I would need it again. However, this will serve and make do. This is not the best report in terms of the reports that you can actually have. However, it's still going to be a really good, realistic report in portraying what I'm trying to convey to you guys. It serves as a good comparison piece for students who are looking to transfer into a top selective high school, because they can compare their own school reports compared to this student who was successful. For privacy reasons, I've taken out the student's name as well as the teacher's name and any other identifiable information. The school they attended was Catherine Macaulay, which is a Catholic girls' secondary school here in Western Sydney. It is ranked in the low hundreds usually in terms of HSC. However, in 2021, they were ranked 164 in the HSC. A respectable rank considering Parramatta High School was ranked 168 in the HSC in 2021. So it was better than a partially selective high school in terms of ranking. The school rank is important because let's say that you have an even better school report than the one that I'm going to show you from Catherine Macaulay. If your school is ranked even better, you'll likely be considered even more favorably compared to this student if you have the same type of results. Although if your school is ranked much lower, even if you get comparable report marks across the subjects, they may consider your application overall weaker from a school report perspective, since the assessments are likely going to be at an easier standard. Let's say that I have an A in Penrith High School in English. That will not be the same as an A at Catherine Macaulay, simply because Penrith has a higher standard of education and the ranking is quite a bit different as well. They are going to be kind of similar. They're still going to be great if they both have A's, but if it's the exact same score, the HAST test, the supporting documentation exactly the same, then they are going to compare which school is this actual student from compared to another student with a comparable report. That's also a big reason why lots of parents in year 6, if they're not successful in getting into a fully selective high school, they will accept going to a partially selective high school just to be in that selective school ecosystem, as it helps them when trying to transfer into a fully selective high school in the later years. Let's actually get into the report. For this student in year 9, in semester 1, they received in religion a B, English an A, mathematics a B, science an A, commerce a B, French an A, geography an A, history elective an A, and PDHPE a C. In total, for the year 9 semester 1 report, this student got 5 A's, 3 B's, and a C in PDHPE. As you can see, that student averages an A across the subjects in this report, but also had a few B's and even a C. Overall, it is decent and acceptable, but not super strong, especially because of the C. You can also notice that this report is unique compared to some of your other schools or maybe your own school report, as it tells us the number of students who got each grade in every subject. You can easily see that there's only a limited number of students who can receive an A in any of these subjects at Catherine Macaulay. Schools cannot give it to everyone an A mark because it indicates that the student is performing well above average. Not every student in the grade can perform well above average, so they can't give it to everyone. A C grade means it is satisfactory, which is totally fine, but if you're looking to transfer into an academic selective high school, you need to be well above average and very well rounded. So we definitely don't want to see many of these. Moving on, this student in year 9 in their semester 2 report, they received religion an A, English A, maths B, science A, commerce B, French A, history elective A, history A, PDHPE a B. In total, for the year 9 semester 2 report, this student got 6 A's and 3 B's. This is an even better report compared to the semester 1 report in year 9, as it's much stronger overall, especially since there wasn't a C in PDHPE or in any of the subjects. You can also notice that instead of geography, it was not history as compared to semester 1's report, as most schools would study one and then swap it for a semester. This student also had French, which was interesting insight as well, as this wasn't even an option at the school that I personally attended at Penrith High School. We only had Japanese or Italian to choose from, so just an interesting fact really. We can also see that they also had religion, which is compulsory since it is a Catholic school, and they even chose history as an elective. For this student in year 10, which is the final report in semester 1 that they have to provide for the application process, they got religion A, English A, maths pathways A, science A, commerce A, French B, geography A, and PDHPE B. In total for the year 10 semester 1 report, it's 7 A's and 2 B's. This is even better than the semester 2 report in year 9, as there now is an additional A in a subject. You can also see that some of the subjects have changed in year 10, as you can pick up different subjects compared to the years before at Catherine Macaulay. We can see that the introduction of math pathways, which is basically a more advanced version of math that students can choose to learn at certain schools. Selective high schools would generally not have this, as they already have an advanced level that all students have to follow. It's not an optional class that's given to certain students. We can see the benefits of math pathways on top of maths in the images of the school, which has supposedly allowed for higher performing students to be further challenged. Hopefully I'll put that on the screen here so you can kind of see the difference between a student purely just studying maths at a normal public school compared to if they did maths as well as maths pathways, to sort of see how much more benefit they will get if they also got a more advanced version of it. As you can see here, this is a much better report overall, and this is quite similar to the report that I actually had to do personally, where I got basically all A's and had maybe like a B or 2 as well. And ultimately that allowed me to be successful in trying to transfer into one of these top selective schools. All in all, this student has had a decent score from the very first report. It has gotten better over time with more A's and no C's in subsequent reports compared to their very first one. The trend is positive, and with a combination of some good luck for a vacancy to occur in Girraween High School, a great result in the HAST test, good supporting documentation, we were able to get this student to transfer into the school, which was ranked 19 in 2021. Like I said, I obviously had to remove some key details, so then other people in the public, or you guys watching this video, cannot actually know who this student is just because of their privacy. But they were able to do this with a combination of hard work, good luck, and the right support network, and ultimately with the right preparation. Moving into a selective high school in years 7 to 10 is so difficult, but it's not impossible. I did it myself, and we've had many students do it themselves as well. However, if you're thinking that you can just do tutoring, or you can work hard and just try to give it a go, it's not really that simple. If there's no vacancy, you cannot make it in. So you kind of have to be quite tactical in it, and you have to work very closely with someone or some people who knows how to do this very well. If your report is looking quite a bit worse than the example that I showed to you today, do not be surprised if you do not make it in. If you still manage to make it in, lucky for you, but students are generally going to have to increase all their possible chances, and maybe you want to make this a bit of a goal and make sure that your report looks similar to the example that I provided today, or even better than that. So you know that you are going to be going into that application with a pretty good foot forward. If you want professional help, be sure to reach out to Bing's Academy, so my team, and I'll be more than happy to chat and explore your options. If you like this type of video, make sure to tell me down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. These types of videos take a really long time to make, research, and for me to distill in a very easy and understandable way. Make sure to also write down what type of other videos that you want to see in the future, whether it be about trying to transfer into a selective school, maybe applying for a selective school, maybe it's going into an OC class. Whatever you guys want to hear about, I want to hear that down in the comments below, and maybe that will be the next video. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.